So,
Boom, baby. We're back again. It's FNN. Raw and uncut. Bring it to you real and uncut as we always do. Now, when we're living in a place like we are today, man, you see so many things going on the TV, walking around, people telling you this and that, and yipping and yapping and jipping and jabbing. But guess what, man? They're just feeding you bullshit to your head, man. So the place you gotta come to with people to keep it real with you 24/7, 7 days a week is FNN Ron Uncut. Coming to you live Sundays, 11 a.m., 12 today, because you know how we do it. Because you gotta have it. You deserve it. You need it. You need someone to keep it real, tell you how it is. And that's what we do. Nobody on TV saying, "Oh, feed the homeless people," but then they go home and fucking fuck a little boy in the ass. No, man, we're keeping it to you real, the truth, raw and uncut, not giving a fuck, man. That's what you need, that's what you deserve, and that's what we're doing, baby. Back again. What you gotta say?
fuck yeah, man. We gotta be setting an example in this world.
Boom.
2014, so many fucking fake cunts around. You come here, you see some real talk with two white boys, and what's better than that to get you up on a fucking,
Yeah,
to start your week off? Yeah,
yeah, man.
absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
Freddie, I was so fired up last night, 2 a.m., man. I was watching, I found this website, man, and I was going through all the shit on it. And it was like a media website, man, like where they have articles and all. And I first looked at a couple things, and it was all like, positive messages, man, but something just struck me as odd, man. Like, when you get a feeling about something, like something didn't seem right about it, man. The whole site just something seemed missing, man. Like the messages were good. It was like women who are abused, little kids, gay rights, this and that. But as I got into it, man, the whole thing got decoded. I realized like the site was I don't this was just one aspect of it, but they were kind of like really, really strong feminists. Like way too much on the side where everything was just about either like women, like why only women are like little girls are poor, why gay men should be equal. It was all about like little girls and women, and it was just so, that's all good, man, but it was so like one-sided to that. And
Okay.
I was thinking about this, man. Something hit me, man. I don't know. It wasn't about that specifically, but I've just had so much shit like this happen that I've seen, and that's what brought this intro up, man, is that so many people that I know, men, women, people who like, oh man, everyone's racist against black people, everyone's people that are so like one track minded, man, whether it's like the feminists or people who like just think black people aren't equal and this and that. They're so stuck on this one thing that then they negate all the other stuff, man, where all they care about is like getting people to not be feminists, that then in their real life, and I know so many people like this, man, where they go up and they make a little video, they do some little shit, they donate money to a charity, and they're like, oh yeah, I donated $2,000 to the women's rights community, and then they go home and they talk shit about their friends, their family, they say how they wish this person wasn't doing this, and all in their life, man, there's just doing bad shit to the people who are close to them and being mean people, but then they go out and they make a little fucking donation or make a little video and they think that makes all up for it, man. And that's exactly what I was talking about, man. That's just fake bullshit, man. If you're a person who goes out and does something, great, man. You donate money, this and that. But your real responsibility is day to day, man. How do you treat the people around you? Retarded, black, white, Puerto Rican, Mexican, women, child. How do you treat the people in your life? And so many people just get caught up in, I gotta be a feminist, and then they go out and they meet people and they're mean to them because they're so defensive about being a feminist. And really, you're discriminating against people who aren't seeing the world exactly like you. And you're doing
True
you're
talk, brother.
you're doing just as bad as the people who are feminists, man. Same way with people who say, Mexicans aren't equal, people who think retards aren't equal, it's whatever. You get so caught up in the one little thing, you forget to actually treat everybody equal, man. You only see that one picture. And that's the definition of what someone who's fake, phony, fraudulent is. And that's how I had to bring it today, man, because I was, it just hit me, man. Last night I saw the site and I couldn't tell, something just struck me the wrong way. And it wasn't the site, man. The site was just a little sign, but it was just these thoughts coming together on the whole fucking idea of how that's so accepted in our society, where someone goes out and they go donate money, and then they can go home, and regardless of how mean they are to people, how, you know, how much they're jealous, mean, all this stuff, but they go donate money, and then now they're a good person. They go out and
Yeah,
a
man.
video, now they're a good person. And it's like,
Take a
a
little
good
pray by the
person.
bed.
Yeah,
Now it's all good.
yeah, what the fuck is that? It's like going to confess at the church, man. You go kill someone and go confess, oh, I'm going to heaven still, you know? It's like, that is such bullshit, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
And I'll tell you, man, if you think that, if you're the type of person who doesn't treat people good, who doesn't like care about other people, who only thinks about themselves, and like that's truly who you are, man, you go fuck yourself. If that's really how you are, I mean, everybody has struggled with this and that, but if you walk around every day thinking, how can I screw people over? How can I get this and that? You know, I don't like that guy. He's a threat to me. I don't like him. He's this and he's that. And you really, really, really think that every day, man, you can go fuck yourself, man. Everybody's got certain levels they're at and stuff, but if that's your 100% who you are, shit, man.
You
Don't
gotta get your shit together.
what you donate, man. You need to get a fucking nun to suck your dick or something. So you get the power of God invested in you. Oh,
Yeah. Oh shit.
I told you
Fuck yeah.
we're coming at a different angle today, man. Last night I got fucking fired up about this shit, and I just was thinking about some of the other people that are badass, like R. Williams, Joey Diaz. You know, maybe they're not perfect, man. They're not the best people, but guess what, man? They are who they
They
are.
keep it real.
They are who they say they are, and they do what they say they do, man. You know, we ain't perfect. I'm not saying I go out there and give flowers to every person I see and kiss them on the forehead. But what I am saying is I'm trying, and what I'm saying is I try to care about people and I try to be nice, and I actually do it. I don't give money to charities that just keep it anyway and write it off on their taxes because they're run by fucking corporations, you know?
Actually, man, I saw one of the SSM guys write a little post in how it's a lot of business or how there's a lot of money in you know, charity work. And I'm like, what the fuck, dog? You can't be taking that kind of money because that's supposed to be going to somebody else, dog. That's just bad karma.
Dude,
And
charities are a huge scam, man, and people don't ever want to question it because then they'll look bad. They're like,
yeah,
you go to the charity and you go, oh, were you guys donating this money actually? Oh, so what are you saying? You don't like our cause about supporting little kids in Africa? You don't like helping little kids? Then, oh, sorry, back away. I don't want to be a bad person. But really, behind the scenes, they're sending tens.
they're throwing fucking parties, man. They're eating ribs. They're
Yeah,
fucking having
you know what?
champagne, all that kind of shit, dog. And it's happening all around the world. Norway too, man.
Boom.
These people, I don't remember who they were, Red Cross or something.
Right.
They spent like a lot of fucking dough, man, on just this one party. And everybody involved in that shit, the guys on the top, they're making fucking big dough. So, you know, those kind of things are supposed to be for people who actually care and spend, you know, their time and energy helping other people and also taking all of the money and giving it away, man. Yeah, sure, you gotta spend some on transportation and shit, but aside from that, it's all supposed to go to the people who need it. And yeah, man, those, you know, that's just an example of the charity workers, but those people are fucking fake cunts. Because they say they do something, but they don't do it.
Exactly,
They,
man.
they are portraying to be some kind of person, and they're not that kind of person.
Boom. That's the core message of it, man. And with these charities, this is one of the typical scams. They say, you know, you donate money and they say a portion of it will be donated to kids in Africa, right? When you hear a
Yeah.
portion, you're thinking like, oh yeah, they're probably 80% or whatever it is, man. If you really, really look, it's like 4%, man.
Yeah.
So you get
And in the
they
good
send, yeah, they
ones,
send $4 over, man. You're like, but they say, yeah, a portion. So then people think it's a lot, but really, if they told you, oh yeah, you give us $100, we'll send four to Africa. You're like, Give me the fucking address, dog. I'm gonna mail it myself.
That's exactly what you would be
4%.
saying,
Are
man.
you kidding me?
Yeah. No, I'm not. But
Damn. Fuck.
yeah. But hey, in like to take this on a little personal level, I've been having the same troubles, because not everybody in society has this kind of you know you're expected to be this kind of way or that kind of way, and you want to live up to those expectations. And what I've found in like I've never like put on something to like, yeah, I do this, and then it's just a complete lie. But in small details, you might add a little something there and not say something here. And I've done that, and that's bad. But I've learned that, you know, in doing those things when I was a kid and shit and younger, that yeah, I feel fucking bad when I do that, and everybody does, and everybody should be doing that. So I stopped. Like that's how simple it is, man. You just
Keep it
stop.
simple, dog. Keep it simple.
Yeah, you like
Man.
I feel when I'm just honest and say things the way they are in the opposite of like how I want them to be, man, people still love me and they still fucking they respect me and all that shit. And if they don't, they can go suck a dick. And yeah, so don't worry about that, man. People will, you know, they'll love you much more if you're fucking honest. And
Yeah.
then you're a true and real person. And people can fucking spot that on the second.
Fucking shit, Freddie, man. I think that what you just said should have been in the Bible, man. God damn, because
Yeah.
it's like a secret fact of life too, man. Because if you've never done it, you never realize, and people don't tell you. Like when you tell the truth and you just are who you are, you don't. No one tells you this, man. But your life, you become so much happier, confident, carefree, like sociable and all these things, man. And you're like, oh, why is all this happening? It's because you're accepting
Sure.
yourself and your self-esteem goes up, man, because you're saying, this is who I am. You can't, I mean, this is the truth of who I am. And I'm fine with that, man. And that's when you get that self-esteem goes up. But guess what, man? Ain't nobody tell you that when you're younger. No one says, if you don't lie, if you just like yourself how you are and all this stuff, you'll be happier than any amount of money can give you. No one says that, man. They say you got to be this way. Don't let people see yourself this way. You got to act like this. Eat your food with your mouth closed. Use the fork on the left side of the fucking plate. Man, I'll put my cum on the left side of the plate if I want to, Doug.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
Just 'cause I,
Uh,
man.
that's so powerful stuff right there, man. And I think, I, I, I like, for example, man, I've been hanging out with these people back in the day, man, when I always felt like I had to put on this kind of personality. And the thing was, man, everybody in that circle was doing that shit. They were all pretending to be fucking nice, high social class. Everybody thinks they're fucking cool. But deep down, man, once I got to know a lot of these people, they're really fucking, their confidence is down. They feel bad. They're depressed because they're always lying, man. They're living in a constant fucking lie. So I just said to myself, I don't want to go that fucking way. And definitely, yeah, I know, man. If you're living in this world, you know, you've been in that situation. Like, you've been around people who are, probably you have, where, yeah, you gotta be making some choices, man, about whether you want to be fucking cool or if you want to be real.
Boom. And yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's so fucking true, man. And I remember I seen you sent me that video the other day about these guys apologizing to women and this and that. And I think there's so much more pressure for women to be a certain way than men, where it's okay for a guy to lay on his couch and eat potato chips and watch TV and scratch his nuts. Where a girl, there's so much more pressure on to act a certain way, do this and do that. And we're here to tell you, I know we don't got that many viewers, man, but you can be who you want to be, man. You don't have to be that way. You can just be yourself. Someone's gonna like you, man. If not, we don't have a lot of viewers, man, but email me or Freddie. Call us on Skype, man. We'll tell you we love you. We'll tell you you look good. We'll tell you you could just be yourself, man. Even if you live in Minnesota and we're never gonna see you, we don't care, man. It's just about spreading that love and, just being who you are and letting that flower, whether it's on the internet or anywhere else possible, man. And
Fuck
the
yeah.
reason I say it about women is that most guys ain't gonna come to you and be, oh man, listen, I ain't real to myself. Guys learn a different way, man. To the guys on here, get your shit the fucking together, man, because you gotta be a man and strap up and grab your nuts. That's how you're gonna learn, man. You learn different ways, man. We're throwing it to you like this.
Absolutely.
Quit being a bitch and get your shit together and saying this and that. If you ain't gonna do it, don't do it, but accept it, man. And to all you women out there, it's all right, man. Be who you are. Do what you want.
Fuck yeah, man.
People are gonna
You know,
care
I,
about you. If you're just nice and a good person. And if not, email someone online. Find someone on the internet. Talk to someone online. There's so many people on this internet with so much in common. If you don't have it in your life, if you don't have it, in your neighborhood, if you don't have it in your city, jump on the internet and you could find people that, like the same things as you, see you for who you are, relate to you on that community level. So, both sides of it, man. All you do is get it together, man, or me and Freddie are gonna dick slap you in the dark.
fuck yeah, brother.
Girls, man, figure out some people to connect to, a community to connect to, someone who understands what you're going through, someone who can relate to you on a positive level, because that's what's gonna help you. If you get guys together and say, "Oh, how you feeling?" blah blah blah, that ain't gonna work, man. All you do is gotta, grow your nuts, man. The chicks, they gotta get a community together and get that going, man. I mean, this ain't all glory all the time, man, but it's a start.
Woo. Absolutely, man. There's a lot of work to be done, man, and thank God, we're living in a good time. And if you're listening to
Oh,
this,
good.
you're also doing the same shit, dog. You got internet, you probably got some food in your belly, some water in your system, and a roof over your fucking head, man. And that's all you really need to be happy.
Oh,
Okay, there's a lot of different shit to it, man. I think, you also need some information and shit, and, to be living the way you want to be living, but that's possible. And, that's the way Nick and I connected, we meet through the internet, and we were kind of, as I got it, me, you, and a lot of the other guys in our community had exactly the same problem, man. Yeah, we all wanted the same shit, like time to do what we want with our time, the freedom, having fun in our lives, doing adventure, traveling, all this shit. But one other thing that we all had in common was that our community, yeah, we have fucking friends and shit, but we were lacking the perfect fucking community, man. And now we're putting that shit together. And everybody should be doing that.
yeah, and online it's a lot easier I think, for some people to be themselves too, because it's anonymous.
Yeah.
Like whatever you really want to do, check it out online. I guarantee you'll find 1,000 people who want to do the same thing. I don't even
Yeah.
care if it's motherfucker underwater basket weaving, man. If you look online, you'll find 1,000 people who want to weave baskets in the deep, deep, deep oceans of the fucking deep blue sea.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely,
what I'm
man.
saying, man. There's people, no matter how alone you feel, man, there's always someone, as much as it seems like, that feels the same way. Someone who's going through the same exact thing that you are, no matter what it is, man. Because people all have the same problems. It ain't like you're the only one who's experienced something. So, you know,
Absolutely, man. You're never in this fucking this place, man. You're almost never alone about your problems, man. It's usually the same type of shit that's going on since the beginning of time. And there's people out there, man, that you can communicate with, like Nick was just saying, dog. Get your shit together. Get up and fucking search the internet. Or, yeah, if you find someone around you, that's cool too, man. Doesn't matter how you do it. Just get it done.
boom,
Find someone. Oh shit.
dropping science today, Doug.
Fuck yeah, man. We gotta be doing that shit, man.
Science from time to time, man. It ain't about what you do, it's how you are as a person, man. It ain't about, I went out and, fucking picked flowers today.
Yeah.
it's how you are every
How
day,
you
man.
do it, man. How you do
How
it.
you deal with the world, man. That's it, dog.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yo, Freddie, man,
It's
you want to take this deeper, dog?
fuck yeah, man. I'm down.
Yo, I had this fucking epiphany yesterday too. I don't know what happened. I went to the beach all day yesterday, and I got back late. And I was just sitting in my bedroom, and I was having like, boom, baby, like these deep thoughts hitting through my head, man. So I was listening to this podcast on my phone right here with Daniele Bolelli, the badass
Oh shit.
Italian historian. And I was listening to it, and I was listening to it, the voice is coming out of here, and he's talking. And I'm like, how weird is this that I'm not in the room with him, but he's in my room talking. Like
That is weird, huh?
I close my eyes, he's literally in my room talking, right?
Yeah.
So of course, I started thinking into that, man. I'm like looking at this, and if you cup it like this, the sound gets bigger, better, or whatever. And I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
like, this dude is in my room talking, right? And then
Okay.
I took it deeper, man. This is when shit got real, man. I said, then I closed my eyes and I realized something. I'm like, you can't see sound, right? Like this,
No,
like this talks, and I hear it, but I don't.
but
There's
you
no,
can't see it.
you don't see little musical notes coming out, right?
You don't.
Only reason that I can hear it is because I have ears, right? So if I
Yeah.
didn't have ears, if I didn't have ears, I would never know sound ever existed. If I never had ears and nobody ever told me about sound, and like for 30 years, then someone told me sound existed, I wouldn't believe them. It'd be like someone telling you like telepathy is real. So this is where it
Yeah.
got deep, dog. So I started thinking to myself, we have five senses. Imagine if there's like thousands of other senses that can sense things out there that are going around us at all times, but we don't have this like, the sensors for it. We can't sense it.
Oh shit.
Oh shit!
God damn, son, that's
I
so
started
fucking deep.
melting, dude.
God damn, motherfucker, you just brought it, dog.
I told you, man. I said I would take it deep, and I would fucking subterranean in this motherfucker.
Oh, dog. Shit.
just,
Oh,
just let that shit sink in right there, man.
god damn, motherfucker.
And
Oh,
that's so. It's not even. And the crazy thing about it is that's so possible, man. That's so
yeah.
possible.
It's the more I'm fucking here, the more I realize a lot of things is about not learning but unlearning,
Yeah.
removing rules, you know, and thoughts you have about everything. And like I've had a couple of pretty weird experiences, man, and so have you, and so have like a lot of people. And there's this shit is so weird. What's going on? You like Joe Rogan says, man. You and I live here, and we know as much about this place as anybody who's ever lived on this place, probably. So what I was gonna say was, man, the possibilities for what's possible is is just endless, man. It doesn't matter what it is about, man. It could be about science, laws of physics. That could be, just crazy. Sizes, time, we think we're fucking big. We're actually pretty fucking small.
Yeah.
If you compare our fucking planet, compare that shit to something else out there, oh shit, dog, we're small. But what about if we're living in a simulation? Simulation. Oh, I don't know. I can't fucking say that I know because I haven't seen it for myself, man. Yeah, there's fucking theories out there about we've been here a million years, we've been apes, we've been this, we've been that. How the fuck do you know, dog? You just woke up, you got shot out of your fucking mother's pussy, and you got up, and you don't even remember that shit. You don't know if anything is fucking real, man. How could you? You don't know. I don't know. We don't fucking know dick.
Oh
No, that's what I'm
no.
trying to say.
Yeah, but
Okay.
this book I finished it last night, and it was about like from the perspective of a dog, you know, from the perspective of a dog, and the dog was talking about how we'd talk about people is like you'd hear it'd say what the people did, and then it'd kind of give the dog's thoughts on it, and the dog would just be like, oh my, whatever name was Amy looks sad, I have to go and comfort her and make her feel good. I could sense that she's sad. I could sense she's happy. I know when she's feeding me. But then the dog would be like, then other things like, oh look, Amy's yelling at her boyfriend right now, and then they one of them ran outside. Sometimes, there's some things about humans that are just impossible to understand. Like that's kind of how the
Yeah.
dog would view certain things, and that is such wisdom, man, coming from there because people think that we don't have a limitation. I mean, I'm a limitation as a species, and we do, man. Like there's the same way a dog could never understand mathematics, we can't understand, how big the universe is or the meaning of certain things. I mean, you can get a glimpse or whatever, but I think people don't understand and respect the limitations of human beings as a species. Like we certain things we don't know. Like you're saying, we just don't know.
Yeah.
You could make something up and like justify it to yourself, but you're making it up. Like we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
You really don't know. That's it, man. You can make up some lie in your head and try and believe it, but really, there's no proof, man. You never seen it yourself. You don't know. And it was cool to read
Exactly.
that book because the dog was so good at that. Dog was just like, I'll never understand that, but I know that my purpose is to love this person and care about them and help them if they're hurt. But I don't understand this other stuff. But I know what my purpose is right here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You focus on what you can do, not what's out of your. A good metaphor to that I heard one time was that he's like if you look at the human body, man, the bacteria in the stomach of your stomach, their job is to help digest food that comes in and all that stuff, right? But
Hmm.
the bacteria of the stomach could never ever understand how the whole body works because it's only in the stomach.
It plays it farce, man.
Yeah, and it can never understand outside the stomach because it never leaves the stomach. Same thing.
Same thing.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
going deep.
We gotta be doing it, man. We gotta bring our truth to the people. And something just to bring it a little back to what we were talking about earlier, and how some people choose one aspect of something and focus all their energy in that, in donating, in one cause, man. Yeah, help black people out. Of course, you're gonna be helping black people out, but yeah, and that's a good thing. But like, yeah, we were talking about that. So what I was gonna say now was this. I've heard, Joe Rogan. I got a lot of science from that guy. I think he's smart. And he says, yeah, I'm on team people. And I agree. But also, you know what team you should be playing on? Team Earth.
Oh
How's that, bitch?
shit.
That's our fucking team, man. That we're all in this shit together.
That's our
And
that's our mother right there, man.
that's our mother, man.
That's
And,
the
and
mother.
oh no, Freddy, you can't be doing it that complicated. That's not possible. Oh shit. I'm glad you asked. I'll fucking tell you how. Be nice. Period. That is that simple. Be nice. Is that too fucking complicated?
Yeah, man.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's
But Freddie, what's in it for me? How's being nice gonna help me?
oh, I'm fucking glad you asked that as well. Once you're nice, people start being nice towards you. Once you're nice to your dog, your cat, once you're fucking nice, yeah, some shit is gonna happen, but it's gonna happen anyway. The main thing is what you give out is what you get back.
But Freddie, I ain't never been nice to anybody in my life. I'm just an old little angry old fart. What do I do now?
You just do it.
Don't
God damn, son.
You just
That's how we
do
got to
it
do.
and do
It,
it and do
yeah, that's
it.
he got it, man. He got it.
God damn, man.
Yeah,
Gotta treat them good, man.
gotta treat him good.
But yeah, taking it back to the deep level, man. The other week, my she was my step grandma. She had had like Alzheimer's for a long time, and she hadn't been able to really talk for like 2 years. But she passed away. Um, and it was funny because my dad, who's someone who's like not really a spiritual person at all. You know, he's just kind of he's just more of a living in the real world, man, or real world, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
You know, that's just like most people, you know. But
Hmm.
that night when she passed away, man, he woke up at like whatever time it was, like 4 o'clock in the morning, and he said he woke up because he had like a dream where she was there and like she was saying something to him and like walking away, and then he like woke up like, oh whoa. An hour later, he got a call. Oh, she passed away an hour ago.
Yeah.
And didn't I said,
Crazy
like,
stuff,
it's
huh?
one thing for like my mom kind of has that stuff happen often. I've had a lot of things happen that are really weird, but my dad, if he were to say that, it had to be so real because he's the type of guy who's like, oh, that's BS, blah blah blah, you know. But the way he told it is like, I don't know how to
It's it.
explain it, man. Like, what this just happened. It was her. It was real, you know. And he's the type of
Yeah.
guy, the last guy that would ever say that. And I'm just like, man.
It's so weird, man.
uh,
It's I like that you said that about your father because my dad is kind of I might have said this before, but my dad is kind of the same deal, man.
Not a guy.
He's living in the real world,
Yeah.
and not spiritual at all. Just very, very, how should I logical. He's real smart, real logical. Doesn't believe in much. He's not saying it's not possible. It's just saying I've never seen it. But one thing he did tell me is when he was 18 years old or something, 19 maybe, he was in the military or he was studying or something, and he had a really, his mother is kind of crazy and his father's a good guy, but one person he had a really good connection to when he was like, who kind of taught him a lot of shit and, was like almost a parent personality for him was his grandmother. So the night she passed away, in his dream, in the middle of the night, she came to, or he says he might have been dreaming, but he says he felt like he woke up, and he doesn't know if there was a face there, or if there was a person. He just remembers the feeling, man. And this was it. She came to his bed, took him on the hand, and said, "I just wanted to say goodbye," and then she left. And the same motherfucking day, she died. And that's pretty weird, man, coming from that guy and your father as well. So, like we were saying earlier about laws and physics and yeah, we're fucking smart, we know everything, but Doug, there's so much shit that could be going on every day, man, and some senses we might not have open every time, Yeah, we could have them, but maybe they're not always working. And maybe there's another little kind of dimension right here. So I was, and also, on the same subject that my girl I know, we were, she's kind of into this. She believes in not ghosts, but like that people can kind of, after she believes in something else when you're dead. That you might be going around here or that you go to somewhere else. So we were discussing this, man. And I don't buy ghosts or any of that shit unless, I see it for myself. But I'm not saying it doesn't exist, man, because I don't know. But yeah, that's just one other aspect of it, man.
I was gonna say so. What did you say before that, man?
About the ghosts
Bef-
or about my,
Before that.
my, my grandmother
In
or my father's
between,
grandmother.
in between those two, man.
Uh,
Oh, I got it, Doug. Don't worry about it, man. So yeah, you said that, we're so smart, right? Like
yeah,
people think we're so smart. Check this out, man. okay, like people are like, oh, human beings are so smart. Let me ask you this, man. Is it really that we're so smart, or do we just think we're smart?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, ask that, to your listeners. Say that to yourself 3 or 4 times, man, and it'll start making sense. And if you look at it, every 50 years, the stuff we thought 50 years ago that was known to be the smartest,
True.
the truth, is always proven wrong. So at that time, we thought we knew everything. 50 years later, 90% of it's proven wrong. So
Yeah,
are we really smart, or are we really just good at convincing ourselves that the shit we come up with is true and smart? I think it's more B. I think we're really good at just convincing ourselves that, oh my God, we figured it out. We're so smart, like tapping our own backs and saying how good and gracious we all are because we can't deal with the fact that we don't know.
yeah, yeah. Like, and yeah, that's like in my mind what I believe is the more intelligent fucking way of looking at it, man. That just accepting and leaving your ego a little bruised for a while. You don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Simple as that. There's a lot of shit you don't know, man. And and to to put this in people's lives, man, because what we've been talking about now is like the standard beliefs and shit that people have, and we know for sure they're true, but then they're proven to be wrong time after fucking time. So on a personal level, man, the like one of the reasons I believe that we always think we're fucking right and we always believe we know something is that one, yeah, if you don't know, that creates a lot of fucking questions, man. And if you just believe in something, you just walk, or in your mind, you just walk a path that's already fucking walked. The traces are there. It's easy. Don't question everything. Don't question anything. Just walk it. So what I'm saying is, which it, your ego always wants you to be the best. You know, you want to be better than everybody else. You want to be special. You want to be, you want to be smart. You want to be all that kind of shit. You want to be, and then you put whatever word there, man. But if you take if you go a little deep with it, what you are is fucking nothing, man. You're just a little. You're here for a very short time, and you're not special. You're just a part of a big deal, man. And in a way, you're special, but in another way, you're all the fucking same, and so am I. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, man, you're special. I mean, everyone's special because they have so much to bring to the world and to life. But at the same
Yeah.
time, if you died, it ain't gonna be the end of nothing. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah, man.
It ain't like if you died, the whole world's gonna stop. Everything's gonna keep moving. You have so much potential, but at the same time, if you didn't bring that, it's not. It ain't a huge deal, you know?
That's
Like
right.
my man
So like,
William said, Doug, you're only here for a flicker.
you're only here for a flicker. That guy is keeping it real day and night,
Hey,
man.
Doug, that should be fucking Jesus himself or something, man.
Fuck yeah,
Preaching
man. And
life.
it's so in an example, man, like, yeah, that guy, for example, is very special. But let's say, when he was 20, instead of doing anything big and, being an inspiration for people, he died. He never became Art Williams. You know what I believe, man? There would be another Art Williams. And just as, if I die or you die, there's gonna be another Freddie. There's gonna be another Nick. Yeah, it might take a little bit longer, the time, but somebody's gonna take her place, man.
Well,
And
agree with that.
and that, yeah, it's just the way it seems like that's the way the world works, man. Like almost, like there's certain seats that are supposed to be taken, and if you take them, that's great. But if you don't, somebody else is gonna take it, man, because it's there.
Yeah, man. There's always that opportunity, man, and it just the right person will do it, man.
Yeah. So, you and me, man, we like to bring people up, not down. And So some people might say, you know what, man? I don't really like Nick or Freddie. Well, I don't really like Art Williams, uh, but anyways, man, we're not saying this shit to fucking bring you down, man. It's just the way it is, man, and we want you to fucking enjoy every part of this shit, and yeah, you're fucking special because you're a human being, and just think about how weird that is, man. You're conscious in a body, in a fucking in a in a little animalistic body, man. You're conscious. You can speak, you can communicate. You got a lot of good shit about you,
Science,
dog.
baby.
Science. And the possibilities, if you're listening to this shit, that means you got food, you got water, you got technology, and also now given to you right motherfucking now information. And with that information, you can take it or you can leave it. You can reject it and not use it for anything, or you can take it and fucking do whatever you want, man, with your life, with the people around you. You can bring joy and just make this fucking journey the best journey possible, man. You can do that shit. I just told you, Doug.
Because Freddie done said so, man. That's why. That's all the reason you
That's why. That's all you need to believe, man. So yeah, in a weird way, man, I think I brainwashed myself in the course of a couple of years because like yeah, I was raised in a certain way with the like that wasn't, I didn't really believe that I could change. I just thought that the way was laid out for me and that's the way it is and I can't really change much about it. But the thing that made me realize that, oh shit, I can actually change shit, important shit, was the picking up chicks, man, because I saw that, oh, I used to believe that this couldn't be changed, but it could be changed. I just did it.
what else can be changed, right?
What else can be changed? And then I found my whole life, man. It goes for my life. The way I think could be changed, and I know this for a fact because I did it. You know?
Freddie, man, before I lose it, man, I want to talk about something you just said, man. You said that when you were younger, you just thought that everything was laid out for you your whole life, and that's just the way it's going to be, and there's nothing else, man. Dude, I think that is so true for so, like, more people than we could imagine, man. I remember when I was like 16 years old or 16, and my best friend at the time, Zach, who I always hang out with, and we just whatever, smoke weed, drink, do whatever. I remember me and him, we were in high school. We were sitting in the back of his truck, like the bed of it, in the industrial center, and we were just smoking a blunt or something, and we're talking about how we're like, man, what are we gonna do once we like finish college and get a job, And we're like, it was just assumed we're gonna once we finish college, we're gonna get married and have kids and get a 9 to 5 job. And it's like we were joking, but we're like we're gonna have to sneak out after work, and I'm gonna tell my friend, yeah, I'm going over to Zach's house, and then we come out in our business suits and we kick in the back of his truck and just sit there and smoke weed. But it was like the mindset was once we finish school, once we finish college, the fun's over. Like the
Yeah.
mindset was 100%. Once we finish college, our life is work all day, go home to a wife and kids that nag at you, and that was it. And like we had accepted it. We didn't even like think about it twice. We're just like, that's how it's gonna be. We're gonna have to sneak out late and just to enjoy. The only thing we do to enjoy ourselves is go smoke weed in an industrial complex. But
That's
it was accepted, man. It wasn't like, oh, that's gonna suck. It was just like, that's how it is, man. There's nothing we can do. Fuck, man, that's powerful, man. Like that's so put into you in this society, where you just accept it, and because everyone you see does it. Like growing up, my parents and all their friends, that's all they did. Everyone on my street, that's how it was. Everyone in my school, that's how it was. I never even saw, like with my own eyes, until I was maybe, I don't know, way older, anyone living differently. Imagine that you
Yeah,
don't even see it. That means it's not even in your realm of possibilities.
exactly, man.
Whew.
That's 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 so true. True. I think it's that way for almost everybody, man. Unless, and that's why it's so fucking powerful and important to you know, yeah, you can preach this and that, but aside from preaching, you got to be setting an example, and that's the best way to have somebody learn, man. Because back in I used to tell my friends, oh, maybe you should do this, because I wanted to help them out, man. I saw they were in pain in some way, and then I tried to give them advice, and that was a bad move, man. A lot of people got pissed off. A lot of people didn't like that coming from me. So what I found was this. The best, for the people around you, the best way for you to influence them is to set an example. And the only way you can do that is to do it yourself. And then maybe people, then they see that and, oh, my friend just did that. He changed this, he did this. And then they ask for, maybe some guidance. And that's when you give them the fucking science. But, start with setting an example.
That's when you give them the science, baby.
Science. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting, man, that you and your friend, were, in that headspace. Because I think just like you
That's how
was,
everyone was that we knew, man. That's all. That's all there was, you know.
that's the way it is here as well, man, and it still is. Actually, I was last night. I was in this little party with a couple of friends from high school and shit, and they were all doing the same normal kind of stuff, going to school, being dull in their eyes, moving into, getting married, settling down and all that shit. And if they want to do that, that's fine. No problem, man. But I could sense, or actually it told me, man, like some guys, they were like, I asked them, hey, so what are you doing? What are you gonna do? Like right now? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna try to get into this school. And mind you, this man, this guy was fucking smart as fuck in high school. But you know what? He listened to too many people, too many teachers, and too many parents. And now he can't think for himself.
Yeah, you got to think for yourself, man. You can be smart, but what is being smart, man? I mean, I don't even think people really know.
Nah, I don't
Yeah.
even think so either, man.
I think there is like a general sense where if you give someone a problem, whether it's with life or anything, and they can figure it out in their head, that's
hmm
intelligence, like your ability to figure things out, whatever it is. I guess that would be it. If you're in a situation, to figure the best way to deal with it no matter what, I guess that
hmm
would be intelligence. But, a lot of people think intelligence is doing what someone tells you to do the best.
Yeah, and
That's
that
intelligence.
intelligence can be written on a fucking school board
Yeah,
and a scoreboard.
intelligence is following directions the best. I don't know
Yeah,
about that, man.
I mean,
But man,
and I don't.
there's this one line that from Tupac, man, that I always liked, and one thing I was thinking about, well, I mean, I kind of thought about it over the last while, but recently is that, the way I'm motivated is to do things, and I've always been this way, is a very like male-oriented way of motivation, right? Like when someone does, like when I see someone doing good, or someone tells me I suck or whatever, that always motivates me, like for me, the in a way, negativity, not negativity, but someone being like, "Yo,
Criticism.
get it together, man. What the fuck are you doing, man? What's wrong with you?" That type of thing has always motivated me very good, where it's always like, "Shit, I gotta do this," like that's a very male-oriented way of motivation, where it's like, "Get it together, man up, do it, grab your nuts, go outside, fucking get it together, man." Like that's always really motivated me, and that's why I don't know what the fuck I'm saying here, but the way I view things in motivation is kind of through that light of like, yo, fucking get it together, man. Just do it. Grab your nuts, that type of thing. And, I know that's not the best way for a lot of women to go about doing things, man. There's some women who are more that way, but I realize women are motivated different ways. But to all you dudes out there, man, just check this fucking line from my man Tupac, man. He said, you know, excuse my use of the word nigga, but I'm gonna say it. He said, he said, real niggas do what they want to do. Bitch niggas do what they've been doing.
Shit. Yeah,
That's
man, that
basically it
guy.
right there, man. He's like, the real motherfuckers do what they want to do. And the people who are,
Hmm.
they ain't got what it takes. They're gonna keep doing what they've been doing, And shit,
Yeah.
man, that's coming from tough love right there, man. But as a man, you gotta be a man and you gotta do what you gotta do. At the end of the day, it's either you're gonna do what you want to do or you're gonna have someone tell you what to do and live someone else's life. So be a real motherfucker and do what you want to do and not a bitch motherfucker and do what someone else tells you to, man. That's what it comes down to. And all you
Yeah.
women out there, if you relate to that, cool. If not, man, that's all good too, man. There's other positive ways to look at it, man. But all you do is, man, you got to man up one day. You know what I mean? You can't be a kid forever. You got to grab your nuts and say, I'm responsible for me and me alone. Ain't no one else gonna take care of me. Let's do it. How are we gonna make it happen? Boom.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And even, yeah, we're living in a good world and there's a lot of good people out there. You know, if you want to accomplish something and you want to do something, you got to do that shit for yourself, man, because ain't nobody going to do it for you.
Hell no, man.
Like, just, you're my friend, man, but still ask me to do a little favor and I'm going to do it.
Oh,
But ask me to fix your life, I can't do that, man. You got to do that yourself.
yeah. I don't know exactly what that means though. But if I just call you up, I'm like, yo, Freddie, fix my life. You're like, dog, I ain't got the wrench with me right now. I need a screwdriver at least, though.
Give me something, man, some
Like, what
instruments or
if someone
something.
call you up and is just like, yeah, I need you to fix my life? Like, well, where do you start, man? I ain't even got a hammer.
I
What the fuck?
I gotta get my
What
suit
do
on,
you
dog.
fix, man? Like, what happened, man? Is there a leak in the pipes? Is the fucking roof broken?
Okay, well, let's put it in a different way, though. Like, let's say, you ask me this, fix a little favor or a big favor, I'll do that too, man. But ask me to, hey, Freddy, my business it's not going well. Can you just build that for me?
Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah, sure, buddy. Of course. Nah, Doug, it doesn't work like that. If you have,
Can't
if
you can't be holding someone's hand. That's basically it. You got to let them
yeah,
do it. You can't be holding their hand through something
yeah, exactly, man. It's
unless
too
they're a
much.
fucking little kid.
Yeah, in that case, hopefully you have some parents to, teach you a thing or two.
Uh,
If not,
unless,
oh shit.
unless you're our boy fucking Tano, who's an asshole.
Oh, did you listen to that shit,
Oh my
man?
God, I forgot about that shit, man. How mean that is, man.
I know. It's basically just creating resistance for the kid to grow up in a little harsh environment
I
because
couldn't
nobody
believe
else
it,
is
man.
doing it.
Like everyone was kind of like, oh yeah, whatever. And that's like, and he convinced himself it was all good, man. And no one, I was like, are you kidding me, man?
Yeah, I know. He really believes, man, that he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, and it's like what we were saying earlier, dude. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but you don't know. It could have a bad effect, so why fuck around? You know what I mean? It's not, you're never gonna be able to tell if that's gonna fuck with the kid or not. So why do it, man? I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah, I know.
You don't know, so why fuck around? If it could
Yeah,
fuck them up, don't do it. But anyway,
you know,
man. I
you
I
know,
guess Tano's a good example of what we're talking about, man. That guy takes it deep, man. Ain't no hand holding, even when you're fucking 6 months old.
fuck
You're
no,
six
man.
months old. You're on your own, motherfucker. Get used to it.
Get used to it, man. Yeah. But what the fuck was I gonna say, man? Yeah. I've been thinking, just a thought crossing my mind, man. If I ever have kids or something like that, I wonder, should it's probably a stupid thing, man, but should you just be really, the best, always be kind and be good to the to the baby or the little kid, or should you, show them some tough love. Like, I was growing up with a lot of, not a lot, man. I had a great fucking childhood, no doubt. But at the same time, man, my father is harsh, and that's a good thing, man, because he taught me a lot of shit. But I'm not like him, man. Like I'm different. So I wonder, man, if I,
I mean, I'm not a parent, but one thing that I do notice is that I think you really have to understand what your definition of loving someone is. And it's like I think a lot of people get it confused with like buying them things, always nice, And I've never been a fan of that with anybody, you know what I mean? Even with, especially with girls, I don't feel like just because like the whole thing of we're going out, I should pay for everything. I think that like ruins like personal relationships. It's like I'm hanging out with you and I'm being with you because I like spending time with you. I care about you, whether it's your kid or whatever. So I think like people misinterpret the love for spoiling when really what they should be doing is spending time with the kid and like accepting him for who he is and bonding and doing stuff like that. And that's really what the love is. And if the kid says, "Can I get a lollipop?" Say, "No, we don't have lollipops here." And that's it. I mean, that doesn't mean you don't love him. You don't want him to, you lose his fucking teeth from eating. Like that's,
yeah, man.
you're still gonna be there with them and laugh and smile and cry and whatever with them, and that's what love is. I think when it comes to like the kids getting spoiled is when they grow up being soft, because they don't learn how to work for things, It's like you gotta help the kid grow and you gotta give them food and things like that, but you also have the responsibility to teach them that, to get things, you have to work for yourself as well, It doesn't mean
Yeah,
I'm not going to be there and stand next to you while you're working and helping you out, but you got to be the one who does it. Like we're saying, you can't hold the hand forever. So I
yeah,
think I think you have I think a lot of people just misunderstand what the that definition is, and then on top of that, man, it gets more complicated because you have two people.
just
You have the mom
I
and the dad.
I gotta plug in some power.
Yeah, go.
But yeah,
So we'll finish that up with the mom and the dad when he's back from his little interlude.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, man. But what I was saying is that you also have a mom and a dad, and I think
Yeah,
this is where parenting gets complicated. Is that the mom may have one view of how things are, where love is and all that, and the dad might have another view. And this is something that I was thinking about yesterday with my parents. Is that so many people, especially nowadays, are so caught up with with like love, somehow love and sex are so closely related, and I've never had a girlfriend for a long time or anything, but I have a lot of people in my life that, have either come and gone or are still around that I love so deeply, man. And Chris Ryan said this in one of his podcasts. He's talking about how people say, well, when you love someone, sex is so much better. And he said, well, when you love someone, everything you do with them is better. If you go camping with someone you love, it's amazing. If you go to
yeah,
the beach with someone you love, of course sex is going to be better when you love someone. But sex has nothing to do with love. It's an act that people do, the same as dancing, the same as this. So I think a lot of people get that confused. And what I realized with my parents that I think is so crucial is that they have so much shared beliefs about how things are, which, and they, of course, I don't know, I don't know anything beyond, I don't know anything beyond that, but I think when they met, they felt something that was not just sexual, man. It was like a deeper feeling of connection. And they
mhm,
share so many beliefs about how things work. Like they almost never argue, and the way they view things is so similar, and I think that's what makes it work so well. Is people just think, oh, we have sex, blah blah, this and that. But if you think that loving a kid is this and this and this, and then your wife thinks it's this and this and this, you're gonna have so many problems going
yeah,
through it. And people are so mistaken with these romantic relationships and putting so much value on having sex and all that. And I kind of used to be the same way when when I was younger. I wouldn't really get that many girls and all this, but it's kind of like anything. Once you do it a bit, then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's great. It's like eating. It's fun to eat and all that stuff, but it's not. It doesn't go that much deeper than that. It's a great thing to do, but what's more important than all of that is the connection you have with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think so many people, that's one of the reasons why the divorce rates are so high, is that they don't connect with someone in a loving way. They connect with someone in a needs-based way where it's like, oh, we have great sex because I need that, and he does this and that. But when you realize you guys don't even have,
Connect.
have things in common, that the same beliefs about how things work. Like my parents work together. My mom works for my dad. They're together all fucking day long at work, and they come home and they're together all day. If they believed and had different thoughts about stuff, they would fucking kill each other.
Yeah, man.
They're having to do things together, and when you have to do things together, like raise a kid, you gotta have shared beliefs because say I think it's good to give kids lollipops and buy them toy trucks and stuff, and then spend all time hanging with my buddies, but just spoil the kid. Then my wife thinks it's good to, yell at the kid when he does something wrong and take away his toys and put him on timeout, but then sing him a lullaby. That kid's gonna be so fucking confused, man.
Yeah, and
And it's like
yeah, absolutely,
that's
man.
that's huge as well. Is that when you're a kid, it's not just if you have a kid, it's not what I'm gonna do to them. The kid's gonna have a mom too. Most likely, the mom could die or whatever, but um, it's not just what you're gonna do. Also, what the other person does is important as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And finding some common ground right there, probably. But yeah, I don't know too much about parenting, man. But it goes with,
At the
you
same
know,
time, man, you kind of do because you had parents your whole life. I mean, you never
yeah,
were a parent, but it's something that you've seen with either you, your friends. It's like people want to say they don't know about parenting, but at the same time, you kind of do. You've been around it your whole life. Your friends have parents. You've seen how their parents are. You've seen how
and you
your
seem,
parents are. I mean, you never did it, but you kind of you watched it. You
yeah,
watched it.
I get it, man. Like, yeah, something, man. Like to change the subject a little bit. One thing I was thinking about talking, like mentioning on this podcast, was this, man. And I, like, for now, I'm not really sure about my beliefs about it and how they might change. I'm not certain what's right, but you got to find out, and I got to find out. So what I was thinking, man, I'm like with this whole this relationship stuff, man. Like that's kind of fucking stupid, you know? Like a romantic relationship, because like let's say you're dating, man, and this is the case a lot of the time. You start out just you meet a guy or a girl, doesn't really matter what it is, and you hang out, you you do things, and this is yeah, I might mention something else later, but okay, so you do things together, man. You blah blah blah. You have fun, you enjoy each other's company, you have sex, you do activities, and then boom, oh shit! One day the girl or the guy says, you know what? Let's make this a relationship. Well, you know what, man? You already have a relationship. You've been having a relationship since the day you fucking started hanging out.
Oh,
You and me have a fucking relationship. It's not sexual, but it's still a relationship, man. And so what you're doing, man, is introducing all these fucking laws and rules and all this thing to a human fucking thing. You know, you're just introducing a lot of laws to your already working relationship. Now, time is gonna change. No, time will change things, so your relationship will change. And yeah, it might get more serious and shit. You know, you might have some kids. You might move in together, and some things are gonna change. And I think it's okay to have certain things. Respect for the other person, but like and have some common rules. But the way you and I did it when we were like kind of living together this summer, man, or last summer, was just yeah. I don't know. We didn't have much. much rules at all, man. Just, just
This-
hang out and enjoy each other's companies. And you know how that worked? Pretty fucking good, man.
Yeah, man. I've definitely felt very those same feelings. It's like the second anyone ever mentions, like, so what are we now? Are we a boyfriend, girlfriend? Are we in a relationship? That's usually the day that that relationship you guys have goes downhill.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Or it might not go downhill right there. You might want to, and there's
It's
nothing
going
fucking
downhill,
wrong.
man, whether it's rolling slow or whether it's rolling fast, man. The second that moment hits, it's either gonna take 5 years or it's gonna take, 5 days, man.
Yeah, and of course you have counter examples to that, like your parents and my
But I
parents.
honestly, dude, I don't think that really happened. I don't know. I don't know if that thing happened to my parents, but I couldn't imagine like one of them being like, so what are we now? Are we in a relationship? Probably just like after 3 months they're like, oh yeah, here's my boyfriend, here's my girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah. Well, well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know too much about it, but all I'm trying to say is, man, you start out very good, like it's all good, and then all of a sudden you're gonna control the other person, man, and set rules on them and shit.
Yeah, what my mom had said, and I remember a lot of like Tano, I remember saying this in the podcast too, and a lot of Italians and Spanish people have this similar mindset. Is like, yeah, my parents met in one of their classes, and they started hanging out like from time to time, and then they just wanted to keep hanging out with each other more and more, so they would keep, you know, then they started hanging out every day, and it just happened. And a lot of the
Hmm.
Italian people I know had the same mindset where it's like I meet someone and if I wake up and I want to see you, I'll call you. And if I want to every day and you want to, then it's gonna happen, man. But it's not like a Friday at 8 p.m. Let's go on a date because that fits in my schedule. It's like it's because it happens naturally and it's something that you just want to. Like you want to see him every day. You want to do this. It's not like oh, we're going out, so we should go out 2 days a week, go to the movie theaters one day, and get the large popcorn with the big Coke for you, and you could give me a hand job through the cut a hole in the bottom of the popcorn box, so nobody sees. No one anyone to see, darling. And the second day, we'll go to a nice dinner at a fancy steak restaurant, and we'll have a nice bottle of red wine, and you know, talk over the candlelight. No, motherfucker, man.
Fuck no, man. Fuck no.
Gotta happen all naturally, man. And yo, man, there's something I don't know if I've really talked about on here, man, but I remember reading this book 5, 6 months ago, man, and it was about, I forgot what it was called, man, but it was like,
Huh?
it was about this guy.
What? Uh, what's going on, man?
Yo, can
Couldn't. Okay, just repeat that. I couldn't hear
It
it.
was about this guy, and his profession was a hypnotist, but his job was to get people to remember their previous lives, right?
Okay.
And regardless of your thoughts on that, I forgot the name of the book, but it was very interesting stuff, man. And what he noticed through all his practices is that people would go into their previous lives, and he would do the sessions for like 4 or 5 hours as a hypnotist.
Mhm.
And in between lives, you would kind of also, there was also times in between lives where you would figure things out and what you learned from your different lives. But he said there was what he noticed with everybody is that in between lives, there was always a couple or a lot of people that are in all different one of your lives. So like there's three kind of, say one or say two different figures that maybe in one life was your grandmother and the person you married, and then you guys both, that life's over, and then the next life it's your son and your uncle, right? But those spirits, like these couple spirits, you and them too, are conjoined through lives, man, to help each other grow and learn. And through that, like it could be anything: a son, a father, a grandma, a friend, a cousin, whatever it is. But those three, your spirits are kind of linked through all these lives in different parts, and are meant to come together to help each other grow for various reasons, right?
Mhm.
This is where this is
Mhm.
this is where things get weird, Doug. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know how much I've talked about my paranormal experiences on here, but I do a lot of some sort of lucid dreaming, out of body experiences, this and that, and you can kind of see, you could learn a lot about yourself doing it, especially because you get outside of yourself, you can see things from the outside. But I remember after I read that book, I was curious about it, so I decided to kind of, go into that sort of mindset and explore and you know, see what the deal was, man. And I remember coming to a place where there was like um, three kind of spirits or whatever, three things or whatever. And
Mhm.
I remember there was one that was kind of small, one medium sized, and then one that was really strong. And you could sense the energies with each one. And so I was looking at it, and I don't know if I'm metaphorically just copying what I read from this book, but it felt pretty real, man. And I was looking at them, and I asked, like, who are these people? Who are these people? And the person who was there kind of revealed who they were to me. And the smaller one, that was the smaller one, was my little brother. The medium sized one was my mom, and then the other one, I wasn't sure who it was, man. And I'm like, who is that, man? And then I asked again, and then boom, it clicked, man. It was like this is the person you're gonna marry, or your soulmate, or whatever, that kind of thing that you're gonna meet later on. Maybe it'll be a dude that turned gay. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a woman, but it's someone that I'm gonna spend a lot of time with later on. And I was like, whoa, dude, I was my heartbeat was like, what the fuck is going on here, man? I don't even know if it was real to this day, but it felt pretty real, right? And I remember
Yeah.
asking, like, or when am I gonna meet you, whatever? And the guy's like, oh, when you're like 32 or something like that, right? And then I got to talk with this like spirit or whatever that was that person. I said, well, what should I do and tell them? And check this out, man. This part almost made me shed a tear, man. That she just said, just be yourself.
Ooh.
God
Damn.
damn, man. And I don't know, I
Shit.
don't know if I had a little bit of acid in my coffee that day or some fucking psilocybin or what, but I'm telling you, man, I felt real, man. And I told my mom the story, and then a couple of days later, she's like, "Oh, Nick, I don't." It was weird, but the other day I felt the presence of the person you're gonna marry, whatever. Like that she's gonna be a strong influence in not just my life, man, but that whole connected group right there. And
Shit. Yeah.
as that could all just be made up, more or less, man. But I've had a lot of different experiences, man, and sometimes you kind of like get different feelings about it. And I've
Mhm.
never had done that again, man. But it was very interesting, Doug.
That is some interesting stuff, man. So, yeah, how did you get to that state though?
Uh,
Were you sleeping
I
or?
mean, yeah, it takes a lot of time, man. It started with the meditation, then after I read this one book called My Big Toe, is when I really started doing the other stuff. And a lot of it really just comes down to like your belief about things, man. Do you believe it's possible or not? Same thing with meditation, man. And I think the biggest thing with it is people have such this idea of a physical world that they believe it so strongly that they don't allow themselves to do other things that are naturally given to you as a human being.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, it just
Yeah.
takes practice over time, and it's really just about creating like the same way you meditate. You know how I explain it to you? It's like the way you meditate is for you. Like whether you do breaths, or you do this or whatever. Like you have to create a metaphor for yourself that relates good to you, that allows you to meditate. And the same thing with doing things like this. It's about figuring out. Like when I first started doing it, it was I would always imagine like it was a little either a portal or a door, and I would picture myself. I would meditate first, so you're in a better state, and then I would imagine a door or a portal, and I would breathe in and picture myself diving through it, or going through the door. And once I went through, because that makes sense in my head as a human, a door here in this world, you have to go through a door to move. You have to physically move to move, but
Mhm.
in the more of a consciousness world, you can move like that, man, because the rules are different. But it still has to
Yeah.
make it, that doesn't make sense to most people. So in your head, you have to make sense of it to transition. So I first started with that, and then after a while, I don't need to do that anymore. But that's all really what it comes down to, man. But after I read that book, My Big Toe, I started doing some, man, that's when my mind totally fucking exploded. That's when I totally fucking exploded, man. But I'm telling you, dude, when I heard that too, I'm like, oh well, what should I do until then? And when I heard that, just be yourself, whew,
Yeah,
that one hit
that's
that one hit me deep. I'm like, whoa, man, who the fuck would ever say that, you know?
somebody powerful, man.
But at the same time, it
But
kind of makes sense, man. Like with, I know right now I'm such a better person than I was 5 years ago or 4 years ago, and I'm
hmm
sure you are too. And I mean, I don't mean to say it's like bragging or anything, but like we're genuinely like caring people where we want people to have fun, we want to have a good, good time. We care about other people. It only makes sense that we're gonna attract someone who's of the same way. So if someone says,
yeah,
just be yourself, that's what I would say. Of course, I'm gonna be
damn,
with someone who's in the same train of thought, you know?
yeah, powerful, man. Like something I've been thinking about, man, is all this, you know, finding somebody cool to have in your life and shit, and be yourself is a good. I think that hit me too, man. Like I think, yeah, that's probably pretty smart. The best way for you to find people that you want in your life is just to be you to the fullest, you know?
Hell yeah, dog.
Like, I like, for example, you, man, because you're you. You're
Back,
you
dog.
to the fullest.
Right back
Uh,
at you, man.
yeah, exactly, man. So that's the way you're gonna be finding your, maybe like a soulmate or something. If I don't know, yeah, maybe I'm not saying that doesn't exist, man. It might exist, but if you're gonna find it, chances are it's easier if you are yourself to the fullest.
Yeah, man, and then
Uh,
it's gonna save you time too, because if you're not, you're just gonna be with someone, and it's like we talked about in the beginning, man. It's fake.
it's fake. Yeah,
We don't funk that way, dog.
we don't.
We play funk, but we don't funk that way, you know. Real funk music, man. We're talking like,
But I think a lot of people, or maybe not, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe a lot of people, listening to what you just said about your experience, man, might say, "Oh, that's hopeless, hopeless."
yeah,
No,
but it's like
what's that word?
anything, man.
But it doesn't. My point, man. I just gotta say this
Get
is,
down, dog.
I fucking in my like for me right now, I didn't completely. Yeah, I got your message, man, but I didn't understand your experience, and that's okay, man, because it wasn't mine. But the thing is, I know that for you, that could be like 100% true, man, because I've been in the same spot with different shit. Like my, I've been on the other side. If you feel me, you know, like I'll share a little weird experience I had not too long ago, man. So basically, I got home from work, and sometimes I do
I'm gonna
this. I try,
got music, dog. Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah, feel weird, dog.
uh,
Lay it down, man.
okay, man. So what I do sometimes is put on a timer for 25 minutes. I go to sleep if I'm real tired, and then I don't know even how I do it, man, but somehow I manage to wake up in these dreams, or I remember them very, very well. And they're fucking weird, man, like the weirdest shit. So what happened this time was something weird. So basically, it was a normal dream. And this was, I can't even explain it,
So,
man. So I was
were you
walking,
sleeping?
yeah, I was sleeping. I put on the timer for 30 minutes or something, 25 maybe. And then I was walking into this store, man, and I this is weird. So I was picking something out of the shelves. I think I was doing that, and put it in my you know what do you say, my cart.
Yeah, good car.
And there was a glitch in my world. I saw it on, there was this tiny little darkness
Oh,
in the object I just picked up from the shelves, and I saw that. it wasn't like black, like, this thing right here. It's got black on it. It was like there was something missing, man. So what I did was look into it, and then I fell through this kind of like a black hole, in the universe. And I lost my entire body disappeared, and my consciousness was just falling, falling, falling into the unlimited. Like it was just falling, like it never stopped. And my mind exploded, and I was having this fucking full-on psychedelic experience, man. But I didn't see shit. I only felt it. I felt feel falling. I felt strangeness. I felt the weirdest shit, man, and I felt another dimension. And it was just so weird, man, that when I woke up, it was like I got back up from a
The
like from a
Matrix.
from a little fucking psychedelic session, dog.
I
It
mean,
was just so weird. And
I mean,
I didn't take any fucking, I didn't do any drugs or something. It was just my mind, man.
and for other people listening and haven't had most people haven't done this type of stuff, but I'm not saying that, oh man, I said this to believe it or not. There's no way for you to believe this or not, but consider this, man. What if what if like these experiences me and Freddie talked about are real?
Hmm.
If there's a 10% chance, wouldn't you still want to figure that out? Because what does that mean? It means that life is bigger than just here, man. It means that there's a higher purpose, there's a higher being, and it's like not a higher being, but there's places outside of just here. You know?
Outside of the
Yeah, and all
physical
I'm
world.
saying, even if that is 10% possible, wouldn't you want to figure that out for yourself? Like that's a key. That's like, people talking about figuring out the universe. I mean, that's a big component of that right there. Like even if it was only 10% chance that what we're saying was true, that's still way worth it to go figure out and explore for yourself because if it is true, like that was my mindset towards all this stuff was like, I remember hearing stuff like I was explaining for the first time, like, oh man, this is like a dream. It's like a fantasy or whatever. But then it kind of
Hmm.
hit me like, well, what if it is true? And then I let that thought sit. Like, what does it mean if it is true? And all these other possibilities started floating into my head. Like, if this is true, this is gonna totally change my whole life, man. This means so much more positive things as well, Like, what if it is true? And just that curiosity, like, poked in right there, I think that's enough to go out and see for yourself. And once you do that,
Yeah.
man, then you're like, whoa.
And I think a lot of a reason for, or I'm not completely sure, man. It might be have something to do with taking certain kind of fucking jungle medicine or something. But I also think it's not that. That it's just that you actually take some time and try to explore and figure out this shit, because that's what you're supposed to be doing when you're meditating, man. Like you sit down with yourself, you try not to look at shit exactly the same way you always look at it. Like that's I don't I'm not saying there's something bad with thinking when you're meditating, but I think it's I think what you're supposed to be doing is focusing on different type of shit. Like normally you would walk around, you would think about these problems in the physical world and this, but when you're like sitting down, man, you got to be figuring out different type of shit. And that's for me what I'm doing. And and I think meditating, figure out how you want to do it for yourself, and you can learn from others. But at least do it, man. Just sit down 20 minutes a day. You have 20 minutes, and even though a lot of times or I don't have like a significant experience. A lot of time I don't, but I always feel a little more relaxed and a little more happy. You know. So I always get something out of it, even though it's not significant.
Yeah,
It's
man.
still worth it,
Fuck,
man.
dog. I'm about to connect some here, man. Connecting this back to people talking about what's the answer to life or what does it all mean and this and stuff. And like people get so far removed from the fact when the answers to life are in front of your face, man. Like look at the ocean, man. I think the ocean is like a perfect example if you want to see the answer to life, man. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's warm, sometimes you get pulled away, sometimes it's light, sometimes it slams you over the head with a big old wave. Sometimes you gotta dive underneath and hold your breath and hope for the best. You know,
Hmm.
sometimes it's foamy and fun. Sometimes it's happy. Sometimes it's dark. Sometimes it's shallow. Sometimes it's deep. Like, the answers to life are in front of your fucking face, man. That's how life is, man. The way the ocean moves and does is exactly how life is. And you just gotta sit in there and float and have fun with it, man. And same thing with meditation. It ain't good all the time, man. Sometimes it's deep, sometimes it's you're floating, sometimes you get slammed and you can't get past nowhere. And there's a barrier, you know, because the current won't let you go no farther. But you gotta respect it because that's where you're at and that's what's going on in that moment. And it's like people trying to figure out the answer to things when the answer is in front of your face, man. The way nature works is the way life works.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Fucking man, drop.
There's no one answer.
Yeah,
And
it's
and
just like
and another.
the way the ocean works is the way your life works. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you get lifted up, sometimes you get slammed down, sometimes you pick yourself up, sometimes you just lay there and keep getting slammed. You know, the way the ocean is exactly how life is. But it's not
Yeah.
this or that. It's not one thing. It's a flowing motion of everything combined into one, and that's what life is. Not to sound like a fucking hippie over here.
Nah, man, you don't. It's like there's a difference, man, between, you know, one thing, like I like about, yeah, so what I was gonna say just now was there's a difference between us and the hippies, man. And the difference is what we were talking about earlier. They, go and use all their focus into one case or one cause. Yeah, you know, and they discard the rest of it. It's too focused on one side of the spectrum, man. Whilst we, man, yeah, we do meditation and have these kinds of experiences, but at the same time, we're doing different shit. We have several layers, and everybody should be having that. Just yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say though, man, I think out of all the times in the last 50 years I would want to be alive would be in the 60s as a hippie, man. Just because there was so much freedom, man. You know, like you could you could just get like 30 bucks and go live out on a fucking farm and jump around a campfire and do whatever all day and it was like accepted, you know? Like you could do
Yeah,
anything, anytime, and it was like okay in that community. And that sense of freedom, I think, is you just don't see it as much anymore, man. But you know, I think like with anything, man, in any community, that some people are probably amazing people that were hippies, you know, and just all around great. And some people, you know, just wanted to get high every day, and they like that part. And some people wanted to just walk around naked and be hairy as fuck, man. They like that part, you know. So it's like I think you know, it was so mixed around in the whole thing, but the one thing that I think about that I think got overblown is how much they would use the drugs, you know? Like especially the psychedelic drugs, I think it's good for you to do from time to time to as a roadmap, and that's what most, you know, tribes, like tribal people would do. But to
yeah,
doing it like 3 times a week, like as a recreational use, I think is very disrespectful. And it just kind of shows you're lazy. Like, I don't want to have to do anything myself, so I'll just take this drug and it'll take me there. And it's like, well,
yeah.
that's not really what that's about, man. It's supposed to teach you about your life so then you can take those lessons and apply them, you know? It's not to just sit there
Absolutely.
and tell you what to do. It's you're supposed to go there, see what it has to say, and then bring that stuff back and apply it, man. what the hippies kind of just, you take a
Smoking
hundred
fucking
fucking
weed
pegs.
all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's. I can hear myself talking now. Well, anyways, in your from your computer, I guess. But that's yeah, that's like abusing shit, man.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know?
one thing that like a lot of people talk about legalizing different drugs and stuff, and like I don't know, man. I have mixed feelings about it. I think like yeah, maybe it's kind of okay, but if you look at any time in history, man, people really, really abuse any kind of drugs they get, whether it's alcohol, pills, weed, crack, whatever it is, man. It's like I'm not an expert on the subject, and I don't know the what different types of drugs do, and of course everybody's different. But I found in general, man, anytime some drug gets popular, whatever, there's always a large population of people who like really abuse it, you know?
Mhm.
And I don't know, I think there's something to be said about that. Yeah, we're gonna make weed legal, but then 60% of people are just gonna smoke weed every fucking day. Like I listened to this interview with Freddie Gibbs. And I used to think that this guy Joey Diaz smoked a lot, and I knew that Freddie Gibbs smoked a lot of weed. But fuck, man, what he said in his interview blew my fucking head apart, man. And the guy's like, it was actually with Vice.com. The guy's like, how much weed do you smoke every day? He's like, usually about 7 to 14 grams, just himself. And like, dude, I don't know how to even explain that. But remember that one night in Ibiza, man, where you saw the size of that
Yeah,
thing.
I
We're basically
remember.
we're basically looking at, with way, way better quality, 25 of those a day. Like
Oh
uh,
my
I,
lord.
with that guy, I think he's had a bad, a troubled past where he was involved in a lot of violence and killings and murders and stuff. But there's also a lot of people, if you just look online, who abuse weed like that, and it's like, what the fuck, man?
That's like seriously a lot.
Yeah, and then I heard people asking him, he's like, he got caught on an airplane with like an ounce of weed or something, a bunch of weed, and asked him about it, and he's like, well, some people got diabetes, so they need the diabetes medication, so I got my weed medication, and then the guy's like, oh, so you got diabetes, and Freddie Gibbs like, man, I got something.
I got something.
I think it's called
Shit.
fucking, uh, a violent, troubling
Back.
past, man. That you got to eat
Yeah.
all day to make you forget about. But uh, I
Yeah.
guess that's one case. But you know what I mean when whether it's with like you remember you talking about your uncle or something who's an alcoholic, and it's just like if you make something so freely available and someone like doesn't have direction with their life, it's so easy for them to just become addicted to that, Like very easy, way easier than you would think. Like it just takes the right moment in time and the right, attitude and right situation. And 3 months in, someone could be addicted.
Absolutely. It can definitely fuck up some lives, man. And I think, for example, alcohol, which is, a drug just like any other drug, it's got its good sides, man. You can experience real fucking, having fun on a different level. And yeah, people know, man, they've been drinking alcohol. But at the same time, or on the other side of the coin, it can have really fucking, bad effects when it comes to overusing it, man. And even though it has, potentially good stuff about it, if it's used out of balance, it takes away those good things, man, and becomes the devil. Same with probably the same with fucking weed and with psychedelics. Yeah, they have their purposes, but you can't overuse it. It's pretty simple, man. If I eat, it's like I think it's good to eat bread from time to time, or even regularly. But if I only eat fucking bread and I eat like a lot of it, I don't think it's good. If coffee, that's a different kind of drug. It's not as fucking like potent, but it's still a drug, man. I think it has its good qualities, like you get sharp and you can use it in certain times. But if you use it too much, it's gonna fuck up your body, man. You gotta be using shit with a little thought behind it. Although I do not think that you should be put in a fucking cell because you use a drug, no matter what it is. You know, I'm for freedom, and so I say people can do what they want with their body, but some people they don't have the right knowledge to know how to use something, man, and you can see that in different kind of cases, like my uncle who's an alcoholic and abuser of pills, and people who smoke weed all day. I have friends like that, and then they don't get dick done, man. They're working the same job, they're lazy in their attitude because they're fucking it up. They're not doing it the right way.
Yeah, man, it's like, there's different like specific effects for, different drugs and whatever and this and that. But what I found in general, man, is that if you make one type of drug widely available,
Hmm.
a large amount of percentage of people are gonna abuse it, whether it's weed, whatever it is, man. So I don't know if making, maybe it worked in a tribe in the fucking Amazon jungle where there's a small amount of people and they would, had good education on it. But if you look at our society today and the way people are educated, drugs are bad, there's no proper education, all this stuff, and then you're going to make all these drugs easily available. uh, there's going to be a lot of abuse, man, without the proper education on how to do them, and it will ruin a lot of people's lives. And regardless of the specific drug, I just think on the scale that we have people on and the lack of education, at least at this point, causes a lot of abuse for any type of drug that's easily available, whether
Yeah,
it's
I agree with you,
prescriptions, you
man.
can get a prescription so easily, whether it's, weed, you can get that so easily, or alcohol, you can get that so easily, and nobody ever educates you on it, but you can get it like that, man. And I think that's not good.
I think, yeah, I agree with you because you can argue that even though, for example, like weed is illegal, it's so easily available for everybody. But because it's illegal, it's keeping a certain amount of people, a lot of people, they're never going to try it because it's
Yeah.
illegal and they stay in that frame. But if it was to be, made legal, they would, they would just dive into it, man, and fuck up.
And
So I
so
think
when
there's
it's
good parts.
illegal, it's kind of like people do it when they're kids and experiment and then stop. But when it's legal, then it's like something you do forever or whatever.
Yeah. But maybe a good solution to it would just start doing the proper education about it and keep it illegal, but get the right education on it.
Yeah,
And then in 50 years or so, when people are ready for it, then make it legal,
yeah,
you
man.
know?
I don't know, the government or whatever. I don't think is gonna accept that to tell people that some drugs aren't as bad as other ones or whatever.
I don't know.
But
So,
the United States and Colorado and Washington, weed is they made it legal.
but how's that working? Have you seen any real bad effects?
All I know is that they're making a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. Well,
A lot of money, man.
I don't, fuck, I don't think, it's hard to say, man.
I mean, and weed's probably the least drug that's bad for you, to be honest, compared to like pills or alcohol or whatever. But it'll be interesting to see how it turns out because I think, yeah, a lot of people are just gonna be lazy motherfuckers, man, in Colorado and Washington.
Fuck yeah,
I mean,
man.
even
But they
I,
might,
I went to you can get it basically in California. If I walk into one of these doctors and pay him $30 and say I can't sleep at night, I'll get a card where I could buy as much weed from any out of the hundreds of shops in LA as much as I want. It's practically legal in California as well. I went to Venice Beach yesterday and just I maybe walked 50 meters on the beach and I looked around and I counted six different people that were smoking joints on the beach where cops come by and all this stuff. So it's like become real prevalent. But I mean, I guess I've been interested to see how it turns out. So, and trust me, dude, I know so many people who, talk about, oh yeah, I've smoked weed now or whatever, that I know for a fact 5 years ago, and if nothing changed from then, would have never smoked weed just because the type of person they are. Like the truth be told, man, I really love smoking weed, man, because
Yeah.
it's so close. It's very close to my personality, man. It's the same. I think one other reason why I love meditation so much is that relaxed, like deep relaxed mental state where your mind's open to just think about different stuff and music's good. For whatever reason, man, vibe with me so well, man. I never really liked drinking that much, but that state was vibing with me so well. And the people I smoke with a lot too. But there's a lot of people who that just doesn't vibe with. It's because they have a different personality. And people
Hmm.
like that now are all like, I'm smoking weed and that. I'm like, I know you don't even like smoking weed, motherfucker, because that ain't your shit.
Yeah.
That's why I can never do
Absolutely.
heroin, dog, because that'd be too bad, man. Meth or something, dog. What am I running around here for, dog? What's with all this speed shit? What's the point?
Well, I don't get
But
that either,
if I
man.
did fucking heroin, I'd be like, damn, I'm relaxed, dog. This is good.
Yeah, that's taking it too far, brother.
True, man. It's the truth, man. Like everybody has certain drugs that are more, uh,
Appealing.
yeah, they just connect with it better, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. So, but
But
yeah,
yeah, it's
I'm
funny
not
that
saying I'm
people
not
who
saying I'm
didn't even
against,
smoke weed before now are like, oh, I'm smoking weed because it's like popular or whatever.
but yeah, but I
It's
kind of
I'm coming
fucking
from a
can't.
different perspective, man, because you'd have to live in California to really see it. But like 6 years ago, man, I remember, or less, I would go to Venice Beach with my friends because it's like the hippie place of LA. And we'd have to go find a little fucking alleyway way away or sit in the car and smoke out of a pipe and be careful for the fucking police, man, because they'll bust you. Nowadays, everyone on the whole boardwalk is smoking weed when there's cops right in front of them, and they have shops with guys with weed signs saying, for $30, I can get you a cannabis card. Just walk in right here. And the whole beach, people are smoking weed. The boardwalk, people are smoking weed, and cops are right there. So like the difference that I see is so big, man. I think in Norway it's not like that, but it's
No.
something that I've seen over a short period of time.
But do you it like yeah? But do you are you like would you if you were to pick a side, would you say I'm for you make keeping it illegal all around the world, or would you say I'm for make it legal?
I don't know. I really don't think I'm the right person to ask, man. I mean, I think there's goods and there's and good side and a bad side to it. But
Hmm.
around the world,
But
I mean,
what
I don't know, dude. Because even when I came into it, it was kind of decriminalized, where
yeah.
the worst you get is a little fine unless you were like selling it. Um, so I really don't know what's best for it, but I do know that if when it is legal, there'll be more money for the economy. They'll be making money off that, which will be good for the economy. It'll be more like readily available.
Hmm.
People can enjoy themselves and get high whenever. But I don't really understand that part, man. Like that's one thing people are like, "Oh man, it just sucks. Like I can't just smoke weed anywhere I want." Who gives a fuck, man? Go in your backyard or your house, man. Like fucking these goddamn Gentiles complaining about I can't smoke weed in front of the grocery store. Like,
Yeah, I don't
what the
see that
fuck
either.
else do you want, man? You live in motherfucking America. You can do anything you want, and all you're doing is focusing on complaining, not being able to smoke weed in front of a fucking supermarket, man. So it's like, I
Yeah.
never got that, man. I remember in that same interview with Freddie Gibbs, he's like, they asked him about the weed thing, and he's like, legal or illegal, man, I'm still gonna be smoking, so I don't give a fuck. And it's like, I just don't see what the big deal about the whole thing is. Like, it was very decriminalized here, where cops would just throw it away, that's it. But then everyone's complaining, like, oh, medicinal use and this and that, and like complaining about these little first world problems
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
weed.
I get it,
And it's
man.
just like,
But
and it's
the
just
only,
what, and then now it's kind of turned out where it's like everybody's just doing it because, that's the thing that it is. And yeah, Joe Rogan and those guys talk about how it's good for stand-up comedy. Yeah, no shit, man. But what they don't say is that, if you're a manager of a company, smoking weed is not gonna help you manage that company at all. It makes you creative. It makes you write music better. Like, I remember when I'd smoke weed, me and my friends would just joke around and rap or whatever, and it makes you more creative, makes you write jokes better, makes you write music better, makes you write poetry better. But guess what? If you
arts.
actually have to do some like logical shit, it really fucks you up, man. So,
Yeah,
I mean, there's
absolutely.
two sides to the whole thing, and like, there's no way to tell if someone's high or not when they're working. Um, and then at the same time, there's going to be a level of people who, like I said, abuse it. But at the same time, people shouldn't be going to jail, which is why I like the decriminalize thing about it. But, I mean, I really don't, this is just how I feel about it. I really don't care that much either way. But, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
but
not
at
going to
least,
affect my life that much, but there's a lot of different sides to it, and it seems like people only see one side or the other, where like the people who smoke weed, a lot like Joe Rogan, think it's like he thinks smoking weed is going to save someone's life. Like he thinks, oh,
yeah,
you just got to give that guy a joint, man, and then he'll see all good, and it's just like life
nah,
doesn't work that way, man. You don't just smoke a drug and change your life. You know what I mean? Like, there's people who think weed's gonna, there's hemp and there's this and that, and it's gonna solve all these problems. But it's just a quick fix, like any drug, man. You smoke it and it's temporary. Then you're not high anymore, and it's gone. And it's like, then there's the guys on the other side who's like, oh, weed's gonna kill you. It's gonna make you this and that, and it's like, there's not much people in the middle, showing both sides of the equation.
oh, I get it. But one thing I would say, and I agree with you, man. I think it's smart just to look at both sides. But one thing I am fully against is putting people in jail for it, man. I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, I think you
Like,
guys in Norway are fucked up, man. But for a while over here, the only real thing with weed you can get in trouble for was if you had caught selling it.
yeah, it's the same shit here. Unless you have a lot of, you get some jail time
And I
for
don't know
smuggling
with
and
the
shit.
dealing drugs. I mean, I did. There's a lot of violence involved in that, man. Like almost more than half the murders in the U.S. are drug related. Not drug related because someone's high, but drug related as in we're going to sell drugs here, and I know this guy's got an ounce of coke, so I'm gonna go shoot him in the fucking head.
It's
So,
basically money, though.
yeah, well, I mean, a lot of things is money, but that,
Criminals deal with drugs, they deal it, and if you take a look at it, drugs is just like criminals exchanging money and shit, because it's got a lot of value. It's worth a lot of money, and I agree, man. But if you were to legalize it, it would cut out that kind of criminal aspect of it.
yeah, that's true.
People, the drug dealers would kind of be out of the picture. But it's hard to say, man. You got to look at both sides and shit. But we'll have to see what's happening. Yo, can you hear me, Nick?